Good morning, everyone. This is your English class, and today we are going to study our fifth chapter, that is pronouns. So let's read and understand. Defining a pronoun. A pronoun is a word used in place of a noun. Monica is a brilliant girl. She is the favorite of all the teachers. All of them admire her. Here, the words she and her stand for the noun Monica. The word them stand for teachers. So she, her, and them are pronouns. Announs which a pronoun stand for is called its antecedent. So dear students, here we have to understand about the pronouns. So pronouns basically we use instead of noun. And we can say that if any word is used instead of noun and that works as a noun, that word is called pronoun. Let's understand this point with some examples. If I say I love India, you know that India is the name of our country and that's a noun. And if I say I love India and it is my country, now I have used instead of India, it is my country. It is a pronoun. Why? Because it has been used instead of noun and it works as a noun. So simply we can understand this point, which word is used instead of noun and it works as a noun. That is called pronoun. So pronouns we used to avoid the repetition of nouns, because every time if we use nouns in our sentence, same noun if we use, so it look quite awkward. So just bringing the beauty in our sentence, we use pronouns. Okay. And second point we have to understand about antecedent. Antecedent means like for which word or which like noun that pronoun has been used, that noun is called antecedent of that pronoun. Suppose I have said that I love India and India is my country. So we know that it is pronoun and it has been used for India word. So India is antecedent of it pronoun, right? Now we need to understand about kinds of pronouns, means types of pronouns. The following diagram shows the various kinds of pronouns. First is personal type of pronoun, second is interrogative, next is emphasizing, then distributive, then relative, demonstrative, reflexive, possessive, and indefinite. So we will learn these types of pronoun one by one. Firstly, let's understand about personal pronouns. Pronouns that stand for person or things. In example above, she, her, and them are personal pronouns. So dear students, I have taught you about first person, second person, third person. So which pronouns are used for first person or second person or third persons? Those pronouns are called personal pronoun, like I, we, you, he, she, it. Right. So these words are called personal pronouns. Now let's talk about demonstrative pronouns. Pronouns used to point out the object or objects they refer to. Like this is a large house, those are beautiful house. So dear students, whenever we point out to some objects or object, so to point out the objects which pronouns we use, those pronouns are called demonstrative pronouns. Suppose near you there is a pen and you indicate towards the pen and you say that this is my pen. So this is a demonstrative pronoun, right? And if you say that that is your pen, so that is also demonstrative pronouns. So this, that, these, and those, these are the demonstrative pronouns, right? Next, interrogative pronouns. Pronouns used to ask questions like who brought these flowers, what do you need? So which pronouns we use to make questions, those pronouns are called interrogative pronouns, like what, like which, like whose, like who. So these are the interrogative pronouns. Next, reflexive pronouns. Pronouns like myself, yourself, when used as the receiver of an action. So dear student, in this, like whenever We use subject and object for the same person. In that case, we should use reflexive pronouns like myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, oneself. So these are the reflexive pronouns. Like I hurt myself, they blamed themselves, right? So these self and selves words and ending words are called reflexive pronouns. Emphasizing pronouns, pronouns used to convey emphasis. Whenever we emphasis on subject, in that case we use emphasizing pronouns. Formation of emphasizing pronouns are like the same like reflexive pronouns. Like you yourself choose these shoes, she herself called me. So how to use we will discuss later, but now we have to understand what are the emphasizing pronouns. Next, possessive pronouns, pronouns that show possession. These clothes are mine, that suit is yours. So which pronouns show the possession, adhikar. So those pronouns are called possessive pronouns. Okay. Now please come on the next page. Distributive pronouns, pronouns that refer to persons or things one at a time, like each of these men, either of two bags. Whenever we talk about a group and we talk about each one of that group, so we should use distributive pronouns. Those are called distributive pronouns like each, every, neither, either. These are the distributive pronouns. Next, indefinite pronouns, pronouns that stand for some noun understood or implied, like all were satisfied, many were invited, but few came. When a pronouns, when we use pronouns for indefinite persons or things, so those pronouns are called indefinite pronouns, like all, many, few, some. These are the indefinite pronouns. The words none, all, some, several, both, many, few, each, either, neither, anyone, everyone, someone, everybody, nobody are usually used as indefinite pronouns. So these are all the indefinite pronouns, because by these pronouns we don't talk any specific person, any definite person, or any definite thing. So that's why these pronouns are called indefinite pronouns. Next, relative pronouns, pronouns that relate a noun to a group of words that follow, that is called relative pronouns. Like, we admire the man who does his duty sincerely. So in this sentence, who is relative pronouns, and this word has been used as a conjunction to. So this word is joining the rest of part, and it's telling about which man we are talking. Next, the medicine which the doctor had suggested proved effective. So which is here relative pronoun. Now please come on to exercise number 1. Underline the pronouns in these sentences and write what kind of pronoun they are. So basically, dear student, in this exercise, first of all, you have to recognize the pronouns. After that, you need to tell the types of that pronoun. Okay, let's read first sentence. He is a big fan of J.K. Rowling. All the Harry Potter books on the shelf are his. So as we see that here, he is a pronoun, and then all is pronoun, then his is pronoun. So he, all, and his, these three words are pronoun. He is a personal pronoun, as we have talked, like he, she, it, name. Sorry, he, she, it, we, you, they. These are the personal pronouns. And old, we are talking about indefinite things. So it can be a type of indefinite pronoun. Second, his, possessive pronoun. In this way, come on the second sentence. These are the children who have been selected to represent the school in badminton. So these, demonstrative pronoun. Second, who, relative pronoun. Okay. Next, nobody knew that she herself had given this instruction. Nobody, indefinite. That, relative, and these demonstrative. So dear students, in this way you have to do this exercise. Okay. Now please come on the C point, personal pronoun. Now we are going to understand all the pronouns in detail. Personal pronouns, these are three persons: first person, second person, third person. The first person is person speaking, the second person is person spoken to, and third person is a person or thing spoken about. The various forms of person pronoun are. So dear students, we have to understand here about personal pronoun. So our first person, second person, third person, these are called a personal pronoun. First person pronouns are those like who are the speaker. So speaker are called first person pronoun, and who are the listener, those are called second person pronouns. And third person about whom we took in the sentence there, those pronouns are called third person pronoun, right? So list of all the pronouns are here. I and we, first person; you, second person; he, she, it, they, third person. Then there is a second category, that is singular and plural. I is singular and we is plural. Same, you and you can be used as a singular and plural too. He, she, it singular and they plural. And secondly, these words are subject. In subjective case we use these words, okay? But in objective case we use, instead of I we use me, instead of we use us. Then you, same we use, instead of he we use him, instead of she we use her, it, them, right? Subjective means when any pronoun is used as a subject. Suppose I say that I went there, so I have like has been used there as a subject. So if I say that he met me, so we need to use me here. So before the verb, we need to use subjective case pronouns, and after the verb, we need to use objective case pronoun. So whenever we need to write subjective case, these pronouns we will write. Whenever we have to write objective case pronouns, so we need to write these pronouns. And these are the possessive forms. Possessive forms means like we show the possession, like mine, ours, yours, his, hers, theirs. And these are the reflexive pronouns of I, like I, myself, we, ourselves, and yourself or yourselves for you, himself for he, herself for she, itself for it, and themselves for they. Remarks, both, used for both masculine and feminine. Like I and we can use for like both the gender, masculine or feminine. And you also we can use for both the gender, masculine and feminine. He we use for masculine gender. Masculine gender means related to male. Feminine gender means related to female. And it can be used for neutral gender, sorry. And they can be used for all the genders. That is either that's like masculine, feminine, common, or neuter. We can use for all the genders. Now, on the behalf of this understanding, dear students, let's do the exercise number 2. Please wait, let me take your attendance. Okay, let's do that. So our first exercise that second exercise that complete the flowing dialogue between the Greek philosopher Socrates and a man who comes running to him by filling in suitable personal pronoun. So dear students, in this conversation, you have to fill personal pronouns like man. A man says that, sir, who just in market got some news about one of your disciples, would like to share with. So we can mention here, sir, I was just in the market. The man is saying that, sir, I was just in the market. So we need to use subjective case. I in the market got some news about you. Then we can mention, I got some news about one of your disciples. I would like to share it with you. I would like to share it with you, right? Socrates, please wait. First, is good or bad? That's a question. First, is it good or bad? Is it good or bad, it we need to mention. Man says that I am afraid. I am afraid it is painful. I am afraid it is painful. So according to the need of sentence, you need to fill here personal pronouns, right? So some I have told you and rest of you should do by yourself. Now please come on the interrogative pronouns. D part. Who, whom, whose, which, and what are interrogative pronouns used for people, used for things. So this means whenever we use like who, whom, whose, which, and what for making interrogative sentence, so that time these words are called interrogative pronouns. So who, whom, whose, and which basically we use for people, means for human beings, and what and which, these are used for things. Like who has made this painting, we are talking about a person. Whom did you want to meet, we are talking about a person. Who is this pair of gloves, so we are talking about the owner of that gloves. What do you want, it can be like any object or anything, like what you want to get. Next, whom being very formal is now really used. Who is preferred pronouns, even where whom is grammatically correct. Who did you want to meet? So dear students, in this way, we have to understand basically when we want to know about subject. So we should use who. Subject means like about whom we talk in a sentence. Suppose I say that Ram is running very fast. Ram is running very fast. So I am talking about the Ram. So Ram is subject. If I want to know about the subject, then I should use who. Who is running very fast? If I say Ram is running very fast and I put the question about asking the subject, so who is running very fast, right? So who basically we use for subject and whom we use for the object. Suppose I say that I gave a pen to Ram. I gave a pen to Ram. So Ram is object. So if I say that whom did you give your pen? Whom did you give your pen? So whom we use when we want to know about the object, right? For object we should use whom, and for subject we should use who. But in the last point here we have to understand, dear students, instead of using whom, we can use who also. That is also right. Means for subject we should use who, and for object we should use whom. But for object we can use who also. Like we should say that whom did you want to meet, and we can also say that who did you want to meet. So both are right. Now on the behalf of this understanding, dear student, you have to do the exercise number 3. Fill in the blanks with suitable interrogative pronouns. So suitable interrogative pronouns you have to fill here. So our first sentence is that, is this luxury car? I have never seen it before. So we want to know the owner of this. So we can say that whose is this luxury car? I have never seen it before. So basically we want to know about the owner of the car. So when we want to know the owner of something, then we should use whose. Next, shall I approach to get my problem addressed? Informal English. So informal English, like we want to know about the object, right? So what we can use here, we can use here whom. Whom shall I approach to get my problems addressed? Next, do you think deserves credit for her success? So dear student, here verb is deserves, right? So we need to write the subject of deserve verb. So we need to mention who, because we want to know subject. Who do you think deserves credit for her success? Next, of these pacers can bowl the fastest. So now, dear students, this you should do by yourself. I think 3 I have told you, and rest of 4, like 4 these sentences, you should do by yourself. Okay. Now, please come on the exercise number. Sorry, point number E. Reflexive and emphasizing pronouns. Both reflexive and emphasizing pronouns have the same form. Myself, ourself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, themselves. So dear students, Formation of reflexive pronouns and emphasizing pronouns are same, but different, like uses are like different of these pronouns. Reflexive pronouns are used as the receiver of an action. How did you hurt yourself? She blamed herself for her problems. So dear students, whenever we make sentence, we use subject and object. Subject and object usually are different persons. Like if I say that he blamed me, he blamed me, right? But if I say that he blamed himself, he blamed himself, उसने अपने आप को blame किया. Now object and subject both are the same person. But if I say he blamed me, subject is different and object is also different. But if I say he blamed himself, right? If I say he killed him, or if I say like she killed her friend, so subject is different and object is different. And if I say that she killed herself, subject and object both are same thing. So in this case, we should use, when subject and object both are same thing, we should use reflexive pronouns, right? For I, we should use myself. For we should use ourselves. For you, we should use yourself and yourselves. And for he, we should use himself. And for her, we should use herself. And for any non-living things, we should use like it, for we should use itself, and for they, for themselves, right? Emphasizing pronouns are used to convey emphasis. When we emphasize on subject, in that case, we should use emphasizing pronouns just after the subject, like I myself took the door. So you lock the door. मैंने खुद डोर को लॉक किया, मैंने अपने आप डोर को लॉक किया. So I'm just emphasizing on myself, on I. So then I say that I myself locked the door. He himself signed the letter. उसने खुद लेटर पे साइन किए. So we are emphasizing on the subject. In that case, we should use emphasizing pronouns just after the subject. So these are the emphasizing pronouns. So dear students, on the behalf of this understanding, do the exercise number 4. Fill in the blanks with suitable reflexive or emphasizing pronouns. Children, I am sure you enjoyed at the party. So you have to fill reflexive or emphasizing pronouns. Children, I am sure you enjoyed yourself. According to you, we need to mention here yourselves at the party. So yourselves, that is reflexive pronoun. The plan itself, itself we have used because we are going to emphasizing on the subject, and subject is the plan, that's the idea, so we need to use itself. You are holding a sharp knife, be careful lest you should cut yourself. You should cut yourself. So according to you, we have mentioned here reflexive pronoun, right? So rest of sentences of this exercise you should do by yourself. Now please come on the next exercise. Next point, sorry, F point. Indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronouns do not stand for any specific person or thing. Indefinite pronouns may be of two kinds of pronouns: some of the books, both of the children, much of the work, none of my neighbors. Compound pronouns: everyone, everybody, somebody, anybody, nothing, something, no one, someone, right? All the books, all is an adjective. All of the books, all is a pronoun. So dear students, here we have to understand about the indefinite pronouns. So whenever we talk about indefinite persons, indefinite things, which things are not specified, so we use indefinite pronouns. So indefinite pronouns of two types. One is called compound pronouns, like everyone, everybody, someone, somebody. These are compound pronouns, and these are indefinite pronouns, right? Secondly, off pronouns, like some of the books and both of the children, much of the work, none of my neighbors. These are called off pronouns, right? So if you say that some books, so some is adjective here, but if you say some of the books, now it's pronoun, right? Next point, singular: somebody, something, anybody, nobody, nothing, anyone. These are the singular pronouns. Secondly, both, few, many, several. These are the plural pronouns. Singular and plural, almost, none, any, some. These are the singular and plural according to the use of these words. Now let's talk about exercise number 5. Fill in the blanks with suitable indefinite pronouns. We have to fill here suitable indefinite pronouns like I pressed the call bell several times, but nobody answered, right? So nobody we have to mention. I pressed the call bell several times, but nobody answered. Next, you look tired and hungry. Would you have something to eat? Would you have something to eat? So something we have to mention here. Third, if there is you need, please let me know. If there is something you need, please let me know. If there is something you need, please let me know. So according to the sense of the word, we should fill these fill-ups. Okay. 3 I have told you, and rest of you should do by yourself. Now please come on the G point, relative pronouns. Like who, whose, whom, which, and that are words most frequently used as relative pronouns. As is also sometimes used as a relative pronouns. It has the same form whether it refers to singular or to a plural noun or a noun, masculine and feminine and common gender. The farmer who has not worked immediately started plowing the field, singular noun. Two shopkeepers who had offered attractive discount did brisk business. The principal called the parents of those children whose result was poor. The girl narrated her story to an old lady whom she met on the way, feminine gender. The use of whom needs a bit of care. Look at these two examples. People who do not love others, the relative pronouns as subject, hence who. People who others do not love, the relative pronouns as object, hence whom. Okay, firstly understand about these all the things. So dear students, when these like interrogative pronouns we use in the mid of sentence to relate the things, so that time these pronouns are called relative pronouns, and we can say them conjunctions too, because these pronouns work as conjunctions. So like who, whose, whom, which, these are relative pronouns. And sometimes as a result, who, whose is used for person only. So who, whose, and whom we use for person. And it has the same form, whether it is referred to a singular or plural noun or noun, masculine or feminine or common gender, it does not matter. Like the farmer who had not work. So here we are talking about the farmer, and that is a singular. So we have used who. Two shopkeepers, that is plural, so we have used who. So it doesn't matter like about we are talking singular or plural, so it doesn't matter. Next, principal call the parents of children, so children, so we have used here whose. And the girl narrated the story to an old lady whom she met on the way. So whose, when we like want to know the owner of something, and whom we want to know when we use object. So the use of whom need to a bit care. Look at these two examples. So whenever, dear students, we use whom word, so we should be careful. So who we can use when we have to talk about subject, but when we have to talk about object, we should use whom. People who do not love others. So people who do not love. So we are talking about the people, and people is subject. And in the second sentence, I'm saying people whom others do not love. Others is object and people is object. So that's why we have used here whom. So these people are the antecedent of these pronouns. Antecedent, I have told you, for whom for whom or what these pronouns are used. So those words are called antecedent of those pronouns, right? So who has been used here for people, and whom has been used also for people. So people are antecedents of who and whom. Sometimes whose may also be used for things without life. So dear friends, whose we use when we talk about person. So I say that whose pen is this. So I want to know a person, means human being, I want to know. But sometimes it happens for non-living things also we can use whose. Like the car whose headlights were on. So we are talking about the car. So whose we have used here. So sometimes it is right to use whose with non-living things. Actually, this sentence should have been written as the car, the lights of which. So instead of this, we can write the sentence in this way too. The car, the headlights of which were on, right? But first sentence looks more elegant. Next, which is used for things without life and for animals. So which we can use when things are non-living things, means are without life, and for animals also we can use which, like the house which had been laying vacant for a long time. So which has been used here for house antecedent, so that's the non-living. The tiger which had turned a man-eater could not be located. So which we have used here, and we have used this which pronoun for the tiger antecedent. So tiger is animal, so we can say that which we can use for non-living things and for animals too. Next, that is used for both person and things. This is the man that I have been speaking of. Person, I have lost. So that we can use for person and things. I have lost the watch that. So here that we have used for man, and here that we have used for watch. So basically that we can use for person and for things too. Next, more on the use of that. We use that after adjectives in superlative degrees. So whenever we put superlative degrees and we need to use a relative pronoun, so that we should use there. Like Kapil is the best fast bowler, the best fast bowler. We have used here superlative degree, so we need to use that here. Even the most foolish person that ever lived could teach us something. So the most foolish. So we are talking about superlative degree. That's why that we have to use as a relative pronoun. We use that after the word all, some, any, none, nothing, only. So after these words, we should use that if there is a need of relative pronoun, like all that glitters is not gold. So all, after all, we need to use that relative pronoun. Nothing that I did pleased my father. So same, we have used that here. Second point, suppose in second we have two nouns, one denoting a person and the other is things. Which relative pronoun shall we use? We would naturally prefer to use that. Both the car and its driver that now appeared looked shabby, thing and person. So dear students, when in a sentence we use non-living things and living thing, and we need to use one relative pronoun for those two things, so in that case we can use that, because that word we can use for non-living things and for living things also. What refers to things only, its antecedent is not expressed. It actually means that which of which the things which what can be cured must be endured. We have found what we have been looking for. So this means what we can use for things when we need to give the meaning, that which. Okay, when we can understand this point, when antecedent is not given in the sentence, then you can use what. So like I can say that I have told what you want to listen. I have told what you want to listen. So in this, I have used what, and there is a no antecedent in this sentence. When there is no antecedent, you can use what. The word as is also sometimes used as a relative pronouns. It is used after a word such as something, sometimes after a word same. So as also we can use a relative pronoun after such, like he is such a leader as the country needs today. His problem is the same as yours. So such and after same we can use as relative conjunction. So dear students, on the behalf of this understanding, you should do exercise number 6. Fill in the blanks with relative pronouns. God helps those who help themselves. God helps those who help themselves. Do you understand his intention are? Do you understand what his intentions are? So no antecedent is there, so we need to mention what. Okay, and rest of sentences of this exercise you should do by yourself. It's enough for today. Now if you want to ask any question, then please come forward. We have only